Hey guys, how you doing? My name's Llama and today I want to talk to you about how you can farm the Warglaives of Azzinoth in the Black Temple at a greatly increased speed compared to running the entire dungeon. Now, this video is going to focus on the acquisition of these Warglaives as well as a few pieces of transmog along the way, but primarily from the viewpoint of a demon hunter. Now, the tricks that I'm going to show you in this video can be done with other classes, but I personally believe that the Demon Hunter is by far the best choice for performing this farm, and you will see why shortly. So firstly, the Warglaives of Azzinoth are a level 70 pair of legendary Warglaives that drop from Illidan in the Black Temple raid. Now, these Warglaives are pretty much only sought after for prestige purposes. However, that being said, the farm itself is one that not many people actually undertake because the drop chance is quite low and the Black Temple can be quite a long dungeon to run in terms of transmog dungeon length due to the length of some of the RP, and some bosses have mechanics where they become unhittable for extended periods of time, and it can just be quite a draining farm to do. Now, what I intend on showing you here is a way in which, if you are just looking for the drops from Illidan for the Warglaives, you can actually skip about half the dungeon and just go straight to the final boss. So, how this works is essentially we're going to clear the dungeon as normal up to a certain point, and then using some clever trickery with jump mechanics, we are going to skip out about 4 of the 9 bosses that are found in the Black Temple. While this may sound rather insignificant, the 4 bosses that we'll be skipping include some incredibly long RP scenes and essentially just time-consuming mechanics that, by going around, it's going to make this farm quite a bit more efficient. So how this is going to work is you are going to clear the dungeon as normal up to the Supremus boss fight. After you've killed him, you'll proceed through the gates behind him as you would normally, go around to the left, and if you take a left you will notice that there are a series of chains that head up through the temple. We want the chain on the left hand side, that is in the corner that you see me going up here, and what we're going to do is we're going to use our Demon Hunter's double jump mechanics and gliding mechanics to work our way slowly up this chain. Once we've progressed up the chain, we're going to be able to glide off of the chain onto a platform that would find us beyond one of the locked doors that you can't get past normally without killing the bosses that we are looking to skip. This save is massive in terms of the time usage. It is unfortunately not going to remove all of the RP elements of the farm, as some of these elements are baked into the final boss and cannot be skipped under any circumstances. But that being said, it is still a massive time save. Now, it should be said that this was not originally my idea. I actually learnt this from another YouTuber by the name of Archvalder. I will link his video, the original, down below for you, but I wanted to make this video to give a specific look on using the Demon Hunter for this farm and why I believe it's infinitely more beneficial than using some of the extra tricks to be able to do this on alternative classes. If you do want to do this on alternative classes, or even if you just want another perspective, I do highly recommend watching that original video. But like I said, I do believe the Demon Hunter to be the best, and this is... So the primary function of this farm is to get the Warglaives, which limits the characters that you would want to do this on to Warrior, Demon Hunter and Rogue, in order to be able to equip the Warglaives and have a certain aesthetic appeal to them. The Rogue and the Warrior will have a great more difficulty in performing the jump task of getting up this chain, using mechanics like mob interactions to perform the initial boost to get onto the chain, and then also not having things like the double jump when you hit sort of invisible walls as you're attempting to climb up the chain to get past them. That being said, the actual chain climb, while quite challenging to get the knack of, and you'll see me struggling quite a bit here, once you do get the hang of it, it is actually quite easy to do. This particular run was my first that you're seeing, and it takes me a minute or two to master getting up the chain, but once I do, you'll notice that I pretty much walk up the chain at the end of it, just using the occasional jump to get past the odd little sticky point. But that being said, When you do get to the point where you want to glide down onto the platform below, of course, this is very easy to achieve with a Demon Hunter, as you can just use their glide ability. If you are using another class, you will need some sort of slow fall as well as possibly a movement speed bonus in order to be able to make it onto the ledge. But once you have completed that part, that is the hard part of the skip over. All you need to do from there is progress through the dungeon and clear it as normal, working your way up to Illidan. Now finally, what I'd like to make the note of is that my run here did take me about 10 minutes, which, while it sounds a lot for a transmog run, is actually really not for a Black Temple run, as there is so much RP that you cannot skip. That being said, it can be significantly lower. I am in fact not using very much in the way of movement speed on my sets. I am not using the Legendary Legion boots to give me movement speed when I kill mobs, and I only got about 13% increased movement speed on the character at the time of filming. This is actually a character I use rather than one I use for farming purposes, and as a result does not have access to the Legion Legendary boots due to being max level. If you were to optimise a little more using Bear Tartar and movement speed sets, you can probably get this down considerably, as well as also shaving off the 2, 3, maybe even 4 minutes I spend trying to do this chain jump. Once you get this down, I see no reason why you couldn't do this entire run in about 5 minutes, and given that it is a weekly task, you simply have to take about 10 minutes out of your weekly WoW time in order to be able to get yourself to the Black Temple and perform this run, which is a significant step up on a lot of people's runs of Black Temple that can be well over half an hour long, which is why they are wanting to avoid this. So that's it for this video, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. Please do watch Archviol's original video. It is incredibly helpful and goes into a little more detail on some of the intricacies that I skim over here. And I do hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Later.